I don't remember how I start the show. Do I just start it?
I don't know. It was a month ago.
Wait, did you do you did introductions first, right?
Yeah. I think I introduced people. What's the show called? Top 8? Okay.
Yeah, Top 8.
Top 8 with Corran and Batmouse.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do 5 seconds of silence, and then we'll get started. Da da da. Da da da. Welcome to another episode of Top 8 with Corran and Batmouse. I'm your host, Corran. With me, as always, is Batmouse.
Hey, howdy, hey.
And the master of trivial trivia himself, Taco Bill.
Hello, everybody.
Our special guest this week to discuss or to make a list of the top 8 non-bounty hunter dark side aliens. We have Mr. Karl Koenig.
Good afternoon, everybody.
How does it feel, Karl, to be the second most famous Koenig on a podcast?
I mean, it's a pretty small community, just like this one, so I feel very honored.
I'm sure you do. Is this the first time you've been on a podcast?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure you'll do your cousin Sarah proud.
I mean, I'm happy that Batmouse and Bill are here to help me pop my cherry. It's great.
All right. So yes, we are talking about non-bounty hunter aliens. That was your idea. What made you think of that idea?
Well, you had a very good list of ranking all the bounty hunters, so I thought that's out. And you only play court ever, so I thought aliens. Let's go there. So plus, it forced me to read a bunch of cards, and some of them are really, really obscure, and some of them I can't pronounce. So I'm looking forward to trying.
That's true. I think all of my lists are pronounceable, but there are a lot of aliens that are difficult to pronounce. Batmouse, how'd you approach compiling this list? Your list?
Just like the our last episode where we did the Appendix C rules. There's a lot of like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? So there's a ton of like garbage card, and they're garbage in the sense that they're not your first choice of card. But they're great in a specific scenario, and that really applies to people that start as bad players, because everyone starts as a bad player, and I still haven't not been a bad player.
Same.
I don't know about that. I think both of you guys are pretty good players. That you owe me $1 in your bad player, and you say you're a bad player jar.
Okay.
Or what was it? Oh yeah, no, you have to donate $5 to the PC every time you say you're a bad player. That applies to anyone who's a better player than me. If you say you're a bad player, then you have to donate $5 to the PC. And for what it's worth, I am a better player than me, so I count. Anyway, so I just wanted to before Taco Bill shares the rules, I want to share my kind of thoughts on the topic a little bit. It is amazing how many of the like iconic aliens that you think of are bounty hunters. Like this was a much when Karl suggested it, I was like, oh, this is going to be too easy. It's just going to be all the obvious main characters. There's not going to be any deep cuts. And then I was like, well, I guess we can have an episode where there's not that many deep cuts. It's okay. You could have a movie podcast that was just like, what's the top 5 best movies? And then I actually started looking at it, and it's like, you actually kind of have to go a level down on some of these picks. I made a joke in our, this is a little gameplay hint for Batmouse and Karl, but I made a joke in our Slack chat about a particular character being about Batmouse picking a character and it being a bad choice, and it actually ended up on my list. So it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be a fun one. And I mean, I love aliens. I do love. I'm on the record many times that the kind of the criminal element of Star Wars is one of my favorites. So, all right, take it away, Taco Bell.
All right, let's do it. I'm gonna warn you guys up front that trivia is a little harder this week than it has been, just because there were so many aliens, and trying to parse, questions to get good trivia questions was very difficult. So these might end up some of our lowest scores of the season. So we'll see how we go. But we're going to do 7 trivia questions here. At the end, I have a tiebreaker in case anybody is tied. And then based on whoever gets the most points in trivia, you're going to pick if you want to be player A, player B, or player C. And we'll get to that at the end of trivia. So let's jump right into trivia. We'll start with question 1 because that's right at the top.
And just for listeners who've been playing along at home, we did change the rules of trivia just a little bit. We're gonna go by who has the most points at the end rather than first to 2 points, second to 2 points, like we were before, because this way all the questions actually matter.
Actually, I think it's because Bill wants to make sure we can get to 2 points.
That's actually this week. That might be true.
That might be.
Well, actually, that's fine. I guess that's true. Like if one person gets 1 point and then the other 2 people are tied at 0, then then you could do your tiebreaker.
All right. Well, here we go, everybody. So by my count,
I forgot to look up how many aliens there were.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to do that because I'm going to tell you. So by my count, not including AIs, there are 172 Darkside non-bounty hunter aliens.
All right.
I want you to tell me how many of those are virtual cards. So, for example, Sebulba V would count. Sebulba V AI would not count. Right? So I'm looking for just the number of virtual cards, virtual Darkside non-bounty hunter aliens. You're going to get a point if you're within 4. So there's a little leeway here. Kendall, I'm going to you first this week.
I'm going to say... So Jabba's Palace had a lot of aliens, and there's 180 cards in Jabba's Palace. So I'd say there's probably like 40 Jabba's Palace aliens just by that self.
I'm looking for virtual, though, remember.
I know. Okay. I know. I'm working backwards here.
It's a process.
I have no idea. Like, I have no idea how many, I have no idea how many unplayable random virtual cards that nobody has ever read before there are. But I can maybe talk through like about how many I think are in each or in some of the alien dense sets and then work backwards from there. And there were probably, I don't know, Premiere and A New Hope probably had about 20 each. Probably Special Edition around the same. So that takes me to about 100 there. And then Endor and Death Star 2 didn't have any. And then in the episode 1 sets, you have probably a handful. So I'm going to say there's probably about 120 non-virtual. So that leaves, what's the total again?
172.
So that leaves 52.
52?
Yeah, 52. That sounds 52. High. I'm going to say 42 actually.
42 coming down. All right. Batmouse.
Man, I'm going to get prices righted. 31.
31. Carl.
35. I'll split the difference. Somewhere in the middle.
35. All right. The correct answer of Darkside non-bounty hunter aliens that are virtual is 36. So Carl,
wow.
Point. If you had said between 32 and 40, you would have been correct. Batmouse with 31 outside that range. Kendall with 42 outside that range.
Oh, man.
This is me using math to my advantage because he said plus or minus.
Yeah.
All right. Question 2.
That assumed that Batmouse or I was anywhere close, which is that's not the best assumption.
10 minutes after hearing your explanation, I was like, well, that seems right. So somewhere.
Yeah, you lost me for a second, but then you came back and
I'm like an AI chatbot. What I say seems right a lot of times. It does not mean that it is right.
All right. Question 2. Stay with me now. All right. Stay with me. So there's a lot of different alien names, right? There are 3 letters of the alphabet. Well, technically, there are 4 letters of the alphabet that have exactly one unique alien that fits this week's theme. So the example I'm going to give you is Ortug, right? Ortug is the only non-bounty hunter alien that starts with an O. The only unique non-bounty hunter alien that starts with an O, right? That is true for 3 different letters.
So you just alphabetize them and look at the letters to come up with this question? Oh my god.
I mean,
Scomblink does that for me. Right? So looking for 3. I want you to name me one of those 3 other aliens, right? Does that question make sense to everybody?
Oh,
Yes.
I have to name the alien.
You want to name the alien. Batmouse, you're up first.
Woof.
You have said woof. Kendall?
Wait a second. Ortug is not the only one that starts with an O.
It's the only unique
Oh, unique. Okay.
alien that starts with an O.
Okay. Because I have a non-unique on my list that starts with an O. Spoilers.
Oh man.
Well, I was gonna say prophetess, but I actually have another one on my list that starts with a P. This isn't helping. Because Yoxkit is a light side card.
That's correct.
Jaquil starts with a J, not a Q. And there's Jabba starts with J. Oh man, this is hard.
I told
If
you.
only I'd looked down. If only I'd looked down, everything would have been fine.
Klaatu.
Klaatu?
Can't think of another K.
I don't even know how to spell that one. That's fine.
I'm
Carl?
pretty sure that's wrong because I have another K on my honor.
Yep. No, that one's not right either.
Isa, Trader of the Jawa.
And then Carl with Isa, Trader of the Jawa Canyon. So I will tell
Canyon, I
you.
forgot that word. That's important because that's why it may or may not have made my list.
So there are 3. One of them is Fozek. There's no other Fs. One of them is Yade Marak. There's no other Ys. And the third one is Isa, Trader of the Jawa Canyon.
Whoa!
Let's keep that tradition of our guest just traumatizing us,
Just crushing you at trivia.
crushing us.
I mean, I did do a little bit of homework this morning, so you know.
Oh my gosh, that's impressive. That's impressive.
Also,
honestly, the only reason I went with I was trying to come up with really stupid names, and I was like, this one, and then I had to read the card, and I was like, oh, I can't think of another I. I'm just going with this.
All right, let's go to question 3 here. So question 3, one of my favorite sub-themes for non-bounty hunter aliens is musicians. So I want you to tell me how many different musicians that fit this week's theme could you put on the table at the same time?
Ooh. Okay.
Kendall, you're up first.
You can have 3 Yuzums. That's more than 3. Let's see. I think that's the only non-unique dark side alien. You have for the Biths, you have like about there's like 2 or 3 Biths. Oh man, you have like Lin May, Max Rebo. No, Max Rebo is a light side card. Beto. No, Beto is not. But I think there is a Rhodian that I'm forgetting. So I'm gonna say 9.
Kendall going with 9. Batmouse?
7.
7. Carl?
Should Price is Right this.
Which is
By the way-
Price is Right. Oh,
Yeah, the Rhodian that you were forgetting that was going to be on my list is Dadu Baduidu.
Okay.
Possibly is how you don't say his name. I'm going to go with 10.
Gonna go with 10. All right, so I did say, I forgot to say, whoever was within 1 point would get the points.
Okay.
None of you are within 1 point, or within 1. So you said 9, 7, and 10. The actual answer is 16.
Oh wow.
So 16 you can put on the table at once.
What?
There's a lot of them. It's 13
Some of them
unique
are bad
ones.
though.
Yeah,
No, a
13
lot of them
unique
are.
ones
I
and
was
3
just saying, that's a
Yuzums.
good one.
At least I was right about the Yuzums.
All right, question 4. So Mara Jade with lightsaber came out in set 0. Ortug V came out in set 3. What was the next virtual set to have a non-bounty hunter alien character with a permanent weapon icon? So I'm looking for the set here, not the actual card. Batmouse, you're up first.
6.
Set 6. Kendall?
Okay. No, it's 13.
13. And Carl?
Set 12.
Set 12. The actual answer was the Hybelon Enforcer and Amon Grem with percussive cannon, which both
13.
came out in set 13.
Damn.
I knew it. I knew it was the Shadow
I knew-
Collective guy.
I forgot what set Shadow Collective came out in, but I was right there with you. Because I lost an episode of Hollow Theater because of that stupid card.
Because it's V13 Mall.
Yep.
That's the only reason I knew.
Otherwise
Oh my
known
gosh, I
as.
got one.
Otherwise known as.
Yeah, which
Bat
means you should be disappointed.
Batmall.
I mean, Kendall, didn't I just ask you if you had the underlying card for that card because I was thinking about playing it in a deck?
What's the
I
underlying
looked at him
card?
this morning too.
Ortug.
For Ortug.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Ortug is the underlying card for that.
For Amon Grem, yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird because he's also
'Cause he's
the
Ortug.
permanent weapon guy. He's
before I got
also
Hollow Theater, we discussed that in depth.
All right, let's go to question 5. So, Kendall, obviously a big fan of Jawas and Tusken Raiders. There's a lot of them that fit this week's theme. So again, how many Jawas and Tusken Raiders could you have on table with different titles?
Okay.
And
With
Kendall,
different
you're-
titles, so that means Jawa
Different
and Jawa
titles.
and Tusken Raider and Tusken Raider
counts as 1.
each count as one.
Yep.
Also virtuals and stuff. Dacha, Jiro, Ritik, Hugh, Jawa, Tusken Raider. I think there's 3 Tusken Raider with gun. Harrot. And I feel like there's one.
I will give the point if you're within 1 again on this one.
I don't think I said the traitor, and I think there's one. I think there's a second. There's a second Jabba's Palace one. So I think 12.
12 from Kendall. Batmouse.
I was between like 11 and 12. I'm gonna go 13.
Gonna go 13. Carl.
I'm going with Batmouse. 13 was the number I was going to go with.
13. So I did say if you were within 1, you would get a point. The actual answer for the number of Jawas and Tusken Raiders you can have on the table is 12. So point for everybody on that one.
I got the 2 points. This is an audio podcast, but I am doing the peace sign thing because I'm at 2 points. I feel so smart.
Waving around.
This is the smartest I've ever felt in my life.
I'm very thankful this is an audio
smarter.
podcast because I've been sitting there counting with my fingers multiple times. I'm glad I can see that.
I'm just staring off into the distance like, why did we choose this topic?
I will say whenever I'm on Hollow Theater, like you can probably tell that like when I'm like engaged in the conversation and when I'm not, because I am not used to being on camera when I'm doing these things. So like I'm used to it just being audio. So sometimes I will just or like go on Facebook or whatever.
All right, let's go. We got question 6 here. So I'm looking for another character to add to my deck. It has to fit the theme. I'm looking for a character who's a pilot, a warrior, and has a destiny of 4 or higher. Can you find me a character that fits this theme? Batmouse.
A pilot, a warrior, and destiny higher than
4 or higher.
Man. I don't think I can, but I have to give you an answer.
Unless
I
the
will tell
answer
you-
is no.
I will tell you for this, you can say no, I cannot find a character that fits this theme. That is a valid answer for this question.
The Destiny higher than 4 and fit the theme. The Destiny higher than 4 is the problem.
4 or higher.
4 or higher. If he were a bounty hunter, I could.
Yeah, but that doesn't work, does it?
No, that doesn't fit the theme. That's the problem. I will say no.
Batmouse says no, he cannot find one. Kendall.
No, he's a bounty hunter, and he's also got is Ghana Gleamort a pilot? I think Ghana Gleamort's a pilot. I'm gonna say Ghana Gleamort.
Ghana Gleamort. And Carl.
I'm going with the only Destiny 5 alien I know, which is Thok and Thug.
Thok and Thug. So there is an answer to this. So Batmouse, you are incorrect. I want to check Thok and Thug real quick. Thok and Thug is not
Thok
a
and Thug
pilot.
is not a
so
pilot.
Does not work.
Not a pilot.
Ghana Gleamort, not a pilot, does not work. The answer
mean,
Is it the other guy? Is the other Tatooine guy?
what's the answer I was looking for was Sidon Ethano.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yep.
A pilot, a warrior, a pirate,
Man, maybe
and a
he
leader.
should be on my list.
Destiny
And a
4, a
leader.
leader. Got all kinds of things going on. So no points awarded for question 6.
feel like
Question
I-
7.
Where are we at? Wait, okay, so where are we at for points right now? Because we're going
Carl
this is the
has
last
3 points. Kendall has 2 points, and Batmouse has 1 point.
Batmouse is sad.
All right. So I got to get this right, and Carl has to get it wrong, and Batmouse has to also get it wrong.
All right. So
Or
question
actually, it
7.
doesn't matter.
How many aliens that fit this week's theme have plotting to kill Jabba in the lore?
Oh,
I will count V and non-V as the same here. So if somebody has a V version that keeps the same lore, that'll just be 1.
had to
Ooh.
ask this.
I had to. Kendall, you're up first.
I think it's 5.
Kendall's going to go with 5. Batmouse?
Ooh, 7.
7. Carl?
5. Being strategic here.
All right. So the actual answer is 3. It's Bib Fortuna, Jaquil, and Velkin Tazeri. Those are
Oh,
the
because
3.
everybody else is bounty hunter. Yeah,
I knew
bounty hunter
2.
is-
But that was like, I just assumed it's kind of like everyone wants to go back to Jakku. I thought everyone wanted to kill Jabba. So
Yeah. There's a
That's
lot of them are
interesting
bounty
that it's
hunters,
only
and a lot of
3.
them are light side.
Yeah, it's interesting because you do think of it as being a lot of cards. Yeah, I guess it would make sense that a lot of them would be light side because they're plotting to kill Jabba.
kill Jabba.
All right. I'll give you my tiebreaker question anyway because it's fun. So if you remember back to question 3, I said you could have 16 musicians on the table at the same time. If all 16 of those musicians are at the audience chamber, what would your total power be there? Batmouse.
Oh, I've been crushed by musicians before, but I'm pretty sure it was Lightside that killed me. 34.
34. Kendall.
Oh, it's way more than that. That's like 2 per. That's 2 per musician. Some of those musicians are going to be like power 10. I'm going to
Isn't there
say
someone that adds power to it, right?
I'm going to say 86.
86. You're going to make me do math. Carl.
I'm going to go rock and roll and say 69.
69. Nice. The actual answer is 63.
Oh.
You can have
I mean,
63 power
that's
with
a-
all of them.
Price is right. I'm right. Right? Because everybody else overbid.
Oh yeah.
That's true, but it was the tiebreaker.
Doesn't
question.
matter. It was a tiebreaker when it
And
wasn't
there's
a
no
tie.
tie to break. All right. So at the end of trivia, Carl's got 3 points. Kendall has 2 points. Batmouse has 1 point. Carl, would you like to be player A, B, or C? And I will tell you what those do. So player A gets to pick number 1 on the list, number 4 on the list, and has a defensive shield. Player B gets to pick number 2, number 6, and number 8 on the list. And player C gets to pick number 3, number 5, and number 7 on the list. What would you like?
I'm going to go with the defensive shield, so I'll be player A.
All right, and I'll talk about that defensive shield in a little bit too. Kendall, you have second choice.
I'm gonna be 8, 6, and 2.
8, 6, and 2 for Kendall. That leaves 3, 5, and 7 for Batmouse. All right.
My favorite odd.
Shield. Oh, say it. Yeah, you're a little odd, so it's fine. Our defensive shield this week, naturally, because we have a lot of dark side aliens, our defensive shield is going to be aim high. So what Karl is going to get to do now is pick a player, and he can pick himself if he likes. He's going to swap the order in which we do their highest and lowest picks, right? For example, Batmouse is picking 3, 5, and 7. Normally we go from 8 to 1. If you choose Batmouse for this defensive shield, we would go 8, 3, 6, 5, 4, 7, 2, 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, Karl, who would you like to pick?
I'm going to go with Batmouse.
Okay, so we're going to swap that 3 and that 7.
Mm-hmm.
So let me make that change in my sheet here real quick, just so we don't forget. All right.
So that's interesting, because that means Batmouse. I mean, he'll get his 3 in when we have all our resources.
Right.
You have all your reasons.
No. Because I anticipated him doing some Batmouse math here. All of his janky stuff was going to be at the top, and his maybe good ones were going to be at the bottom. So
Right. Well, yeah, and so we have the resources to keep him under control. Cool.
Playing the player, not the game. I like it.
No, that's actually, because I was like, before I was like a little on the fence about this shield, but this is why Karl's good at Star Wars cards, because he knows how to strategically do this stuff.
Yeah, mess with the guy who likes to mess with things. That works.
So yeah.
I literally heard you say on the last podcast, I'm doing this to make you guys use your stuff.
Right. Yes. Batmouse, of course, playing in bad faith last episode, but
no,
that's
Batmouse.
He's Batmouse.
So anyway, so yeah, Taco Bell, why don't you run through the rules of the game real fast?
Yep, those resources they're talking about, each player is going to get 2 senses and 1 alter. They can use a sense to sense somebody else's pick and say, I do not want that on the list. If that sense is successful, that alien will not be allowed to be added to the list at that point, but they can be added later. The alter, you are able to cancel sense. You get 1 alter, so you get 1 shot to prevent that from happening. We're going to go through the list in reverse order, so I'm going to go from 8 to 1. Obviously, with that 3 and 7 switched, we'll talk about some of the ones that you guys maybe had on your list that don't make the final list, and then I'll give my list and award a winner.
And as we clarified last time, if something does get sensed, it is available to be played later on the list as well.
Yep.
So if somebody picks if I pick number 8 and it's Karl's number 1, he can sense it, and and so on.
Because you want it higher up.
Assumedly, most people at this point are starting at the beginning, because we got the continuity of the show. You want to make sure you know who dies and everything, but just in case it's your first episode.
Dies? What did I sign up for?
This is serious listening radio.
It's the third episode. It's not like it's a mid-season finale.
We didn't tell you there's a potato cage fight at the end.
All right, well, let's jump in. We're going to start as we do at number 8, and that this week is Kendall's choice for number 8.
Okay. Let's see. Man, my list is so stacked, and I just know that so many of these things are not going to get picked. This is hard. I am going to, I'll go ahead and pick one that I hinted at earlier. It's actually a few spots up my list, but I actually don't agree with that placement. So I don't know. I made my list. My list has 10 on it. So I guess I shouldn't pick number 10 for my number 8. So anyway, so when we proposed this, I'd be like, we'd make a good list, and then Batmouse would throw out something like Thok and Thug. But Thok and Thug is my number 8. I think I like maintenance cards more than a lot of people. And I also like high destiny characters a lot more than a lot of people. Thok and Thug are just, it's such a cool, I mean, they're the two guys in the, in the Jabba's palace, and like they're just, I don't know, I feel like Gamorrean guards should be playable. This is an attempt in late stage Decipher to make playable Gamorrean guards, and they got high destinies and they protect your leaders, and they're just really cool. I built a My Kind of Scum deck a million years ago with them as the rep, and which is really cool because then they become a leader and they can't be targeted by weapons. I like them a lot. So yeah, they're my number 8.
All right, Thok and Thug, place at number 8. Any thoughts, Batmouse or Carl?
Well, I definitely can't sense a card that is on my list. And I definitely can't sense a card that was called out as Batmouse is probably going to throw that out anyway.
It made my honorable mention, and there's going to be some crazy shit later, so I'm saving my resources, and I'm fine with this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is number 8, so.
All right, Thok and Thug has been entered onto the list at number 8. All right, so normally we would go to number 7, but instead, because of the Aim High shield, we're going to number 3, and that's for Batmouse here.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Which makes me totally reflip everything that I've got. But
You're welcome.
Thank you. There are 3 cards here that I would put in my highest pick. And I'm a huge fan of undercover spies. So it's going to be Arica Non-V.
All right, so Arica Non-V nominated at number 3. Kendall with a quick sense.
Yeah, that's like my least favorite Mara.
Oh, are we playing like each persona gets their own thing, or is it just like
once you choose one, it's gone.
Yeah, that's a caveat that we discussed before recording for this, because there are multiple versions of some of these characters. Once we are picking a specific card, and once a version of a given character is on the list, then that will be the only representative of that character on the list. So okay. I 100% have to sense this, because Mara is all 3 other Maras are some of my favorite cards. Arica Non-V is, I don't even know what it does.
Well, let me tell you, Arica Non-V deploys only as an undercover spy.
Right.
But she also gets to break her cover and fire during the control phase.
Yeah, no.
During opponent control phase. So during your turn, I can just break out and like, saber time, Luke, and just be ready for everything else. She also reduces Luke forfeit and immunity to attrition by 2.
Sense, all the senses.
All of the senses.
Not all the senses. I'm just playing one right now, but I'm playing it very emphatically.
All right, so that Arica Non-V has been sensed. Does anybody want to use their alter on that sense, or are we moving on to another pick from Batmouse?
No, you can sense it. It's fine.
All right, Arica Non-V was sensed. Batmouse, still you. Number 3.
Prince Shizor.
Prince Zizor.
It is Shizor.
We're gonna argue about this one. Prince Shizor.
I listen to a lot of our audiobooks.
Yeah, it is Shizor.
All right. So Prince Zizor.
Compromise.
Yeah, Prince
Exciser.
Exciser.
The prince that starts with X. All right. Why Prince Shizor?
So in the land a long time ago, being able to force your opponent to have ability of at least 6 to fight you, and you can prevent them from drawing battle destiny, is amazing. You're immune to attrition while Vader's not around. But he fuels literally Agents of the Black Sun. Like, you literally cannot play that deck without him. He's a gangster. He's a leader. He's dope. And he tried to seduce a princess a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
And he's got a cool bodyguard.
Almost worked.
Yeah, I mean, I've only listened to the abridged audiobook of Shadows of the Empire, but it's one of my great shames. But wish they would release the unabridged audiobook because I'm bad at reading books. But I love his design. You know, Shadows of the Empire was such a, you know, the multimedia, everything in the, you know, in the mid 90s was so great. I do love his playability of you know, he draws on his own. He makes, like, even today, like, most of the time that ability of 6 or more isn't gonna get your opponent to not draw Battle Destiny, but it is gonna get your opponent to kind of commit, to have to think about it before they come after him. You know, maybe you can deploy him a turn earlier than maybe you would have otherwise, because you know your opponent can't deploy 2 characters depending on the deck. Maybe you know, maybe he hangs out at a site late game and he draws Destiny on his own. Maybe you can drop him somewhere and he draws Destiny on his own. He's really cool. Plus he's just, like, you know, one of the things I like about the dark side criminal decks is the ability to play all of the gangster leaders. You know, you can play Jabba and Lady Proxima and the one that was in Legacy and Prince Xizor and, you know, all these, you know, and having them doing all the different stuff. You know, that's why Shadow Collective is so cool. Yeah, and Xizor is an integral part of all of that, and I like him a lot.
And give Xizor a gun in Shadow Collective and just hang out. Say, I dare you.
Xizor is actually my number 3, so I'm happy to know that Batmouse was playing this list with honor. So nice job. And I just want to make sure he makes the list. We're good. He can stay at 7. He's on the list.
I'm you know, the reason why you play this game with honor is because there's honor amongst thieves and gangster leaders, honor. And don't forget, Batmall is a gangster himself. There's honor amongst thieves and gangsters. There's a code.
Prince Xizor going on the list at number 3. I think I said it right that time after trying 7 times. So.
Good job. Right. Good job.
We will move on to position 6 on the list, and that comes from Kendall.
Okay. Oh yeah, because I'm at 8, 6, and 2. Shoot. Oh man. I'm just afraid you guys are gonna throw curveballs. So it's like how. Okay. Well, we'll do the better Prince Xizor. You know, a lot of times when I make lists, I think about like individual comparisons, and I'm like, a lot of this stuff is subjective. What is objectively true? And I would never make a list like this, except for these 2 positions are flipped on my wrong list. But I would pretty much never make a list and say Prince Xizor. Wait a second, Prince Xizor is number 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
This doesn't work. That needs to be higher on the list. You confused me with your 7. Okay, it's Dr. Everson and Ponda Baba. Okay, never mind. Dr. Everson and Ponda Baba, another great Reflections 2 card, which has, you know, a number of great Reflections 2 has some of the best design in the whole game. That was a great time for the game. Like people that cut off I think like that kind of that like Death Star, the cards surrounding Death Star 2, not cutting off at Death Star 2, are some of the best designs in the game. I think you can go all the way to Tatooine, but also like those in the enhanced Jabba's Palace and the enhanced Cloud City and the Jabba's Palace sealed deck cards. That whole era, including Reflections 2, are some of the best design cards in the game. And Dr. Evazan and Ponda Baba, they get to operate. They got the death sentence on 12 systems. They're still scared of lightsabers, and they draw on their own. Like you can slot them into so many decks. You stick them next to anybody with a permanent weapon, and they get super scary. They're great. Definitely deserve
a co-pilot, in certain situations too.
Right, they add 3 to power. They pilot and they add 3 to power. They do everything.
Yeah, they're fully functional. Don't forget. So my only qualm about that is I feel like that should be higher. I'm gonna sense.
Okay.
I had it fifth on my list, so it was right about where I thought it should be. I mean, I almost sensed it because, like, we should only have one.
Batmouse used this. We got Batmouse to use a sense, and it sounds like people like the cards. So,
yeah, I don't hate. I want it on the list. I just don't want it at 6.
But I already put Thok. I put Thok and Thug at 8. You know what? You guys want that higher?
I just want it higher. I may not pick it myself, but
no. I understand. Okay, well then we'll do my other little bit of a curveball here. And we'll say Cloud City Lando Calrissian.
Cloud City Lando Calrissian, the dark side version, I presume.
Yes, the dark side version. I know it's not super relevant anymore. And well, no, actually, this is the one example that is relevant because you can only have one version of a unique character.
Right. This is the one Lando that can actually convert, right? Still.
Yeah. This one can be converted, but also like if you put him on a ship, it makes it so that your opponent can't play regular Lando sometimes, although that's not the most popular version. But for 20 years before the rules changed, before the Persona rules changed, this was a really interesting caveat. I think I go back and forth on the idea of allowing for light side and dark side to each have their own version of a given character. But I do think that Star Wars has a lot of gray characters where somebody turns on somebody else, and especially when we're talking about the criminal element of the universe, that's a huge part of that. And I think that Lando was a 1997 attempt at a pretty complicated mechanic, and just it's interesting. It's such an interesting little footnote in history of a character.
I agree. The fact that the non-virtual security tower pulled him in a time when CCT had the ability to take away Han with the Jabba prize, pull Lando. You could essentially take away the Falcon by getting the Lando Calrissian up into space. You could just take away the Falcon for most decks. Before they came out with the Jabba Prize V, which was Corran Horn, and now the Mithril. It was just a great strategic point, and again at a time when a player like me didn't have a lot of cards, being able to take away something while just playing a character that I thought was cool.
And I mean he is like. I feel like especially if you're thinking about him at that moment in Empire Strikes Back, the character evolved after that. But if you're thinking of him at that moment in Empire Strikes Back, I mean, he is kind of a bad guy, and we saw in Solo that he's not, he's not 100% a good guy in that movie either.
Kendall, I was going to sense this originally, but then hearing the more you talk, I was like, no, I'm okay with this. But, just throw this out there. Maybe the next list should be characters that should be represented on both sides, light and dark. Because, like, you're right, he does straddle both sides of this, right? And there are a lot of examples. Like, there's no dark side Max Rebo, I found out doing this little research project. But no, for all the reasons that you and Batmouse have said, I think him on the list is a great idea and placement's good. And, you know, we still haven't had a stupid card yet, so let's keep going.
You guys remember the story about Max Rebo's band? I can't remember which one. Is it Dice?
Unlimited food.
Yeah. They just play. Yeah, they play for food. They agreed to play for Jabba indefinitely for unlimited food. And I don't think that was Max Rebo that negotiated that. I think it was the other one.
Yowza?
No. Man, the non-unique musician species for light side. I think.
Hey, we're only going dark side right now, buddy.
It's not Dice. It's not Dice Ibagon, is it?
No, he was in Premiere.
Oh man, that's okay. We can move on, and I'll figure it out.
I just
note it later.
I actually knew, but just to move the conversation along.
Cloud City Lando Calrissian Darkseid has been added to the list at number
Droopy
6.
McCool. I think it's not. That's another. Yeah, no, Droopy McCool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Droopy McCool because he's the fat one.
All right. Well, let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to move on to number 5. That pick comes from Batmouse.
Oh, I'm back on the clock.
You're back on the clock. Number 5.
Okay. So number 5 is Danik Jericho non-V.
Oh, yeah, eat the soup.
Eat the soup. He's the vampire that you just start placing players out of play, and in a deck like maybe CCT, where he's immune to attrition less than 4, he can just sit around and come fight me. I will just place your character out of play, and I'll just get stronger and stronger and stronger. Placing a character out of play, not a lot of people love it. I think it's strategic. Like when you're just sitting there shooting EPPs at me, let's just get rid of your EPP. No more Obi with Saber, no more Ray with Saber. Plus the whole like, I'm gonna eat your soup, bro.
I eat your soup. I eat it up.
But and then when you kill him, you get to say what? No soup. What are you?
I don't know that I'd actually say that, but I'm feeling all the stuff you just said, Batmouse, and I think there's only one character that has better game text or lore that I don't think is going to make the list, but was in my honorable mention. But of the curveballs I was expecting, this one I can live with. So no sense for me. Kendall?
Okay. Now I got to think about how many are left to go. So this is number 5.
Yep, there will be
number
4
5.
more choices added to the list.
Okay. We have what absolutely has to be on the list? That has to be on the list. Okay, I have exactly 4 more that I think have to be on the list. So I mean, Dan and Jericho almost made my list. It's just kind of imagine sometimes with these, this is no criteria. So it's whatever,
It's how you're feeling.
He was definitely one of the 8 non-bounty hunter aliens that I thought of first. And I think I did a thing because I was thinking about adding a segment to one of my podcasts about obscure characters, and I did some social media polls, and Dana Jericho was like one of the most popular obscure characters that for Star Wars card players. I guess we can keep it. I guess I should save my sense for the. But like now we're not messing around.
Yeah.
Better pick some good ones for the top 4.
All right, so Danik Jericho non-V
Top 4 and 7.
Entered onto the list at number 5. So we're at the halfway point here. We have Thok and Thug at number 8, Cloud City Lando at number 6, Danik Jericho Namdi at number 5, and Prince Xizor at number 3. All right, so we're moving down the list. We're going to spot number 4, and that's Carl's first pick here.
I'll let one of you. Yeah, I'll go with this one. So my number 4 is going to be Honda Anaka. Love the character from Rebels and Clone Wars. I like the fact that draws, if unable to otherwise, can download. Aura can get you Slave 1.
Oh, man.
You right?
Well, it just...
For those at home, both Batmouse and Kendall are making faces, and they don't look comfortable.
I'm asking if he's gonna do it or if I'm gonna do it.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do it, you can do it. I can't bring myself to sense this because it's just at 4 is high.
Yeah. But he only had 2 choices. So
Yeah. No, I know. It's all our fault. Unless you were gonna put it at 7. He's not on my 10, but Hondo is always the freaking 60th card in all of my court decks. So he's probably...
And he has one of the best AIs from the PC to come out. Like, that one is pretty amazing.
I mean, you are trying to sway it right now, and I do like a pretty card.
Look, Batmouse, I would not... I'll tell you, I won't alter your sense if you want to sense it.
There's gamesmanship. They're conspiring against you here, Carl. That's what I said.
I don't know. I don't. It's just that there's only so many more spots, and this is like this is an important list.
If everybody's unhappy with the list, then it's a good list.
Hey, and if I had the worst card to make the list on here, then I beat Batmouse.
No, it's not the worst. It's not the worst card to make the list. It's just making me wish that I'd picked that instead of Lando. But no.
Reasons that you picked Lando. So
I'm not gonna sense it. But I would probably be happy if Batmouse did. That's what I know. You.
I'm not gonna sense it. I'm waffling because there are so many. There are a couple other cards that I would absolutely love on here, in that place, but I'm gonna have to let it go, just because I may have to defend my honor. I mean my 7th pick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let it go. I really. Oh man,
here's the thing. If Xizor and Hondo were flipped, I don't think there'd be these faces. But
Does Xizor at 3 or Hondo at 3 instead of Xizor at 4?
Oh, does Xizor stay at 3? Like,
Xizor's at 3. Yeah,
Xizor's at 3.
All right, then
I'm gonna let it go.
I think
Hondo is another one of those characters that could go on our gray list. And
I think now one of my Stone Cold top 4 is not going to make the list. So I'm gonna be
unless we make it at 7, we'll see. Oh no.
No, one of my top 4 is not gonna make the list because we have 4, 2, 1, and we have 2, 1, and 7 left to pick. Right. So one of my 4. Well, that'll be. I guess
so
that'll be
not gonna make the list. I guess
the definite. It'll be the definite. Honorable mention. I know what my honorable mention is going to be.
That'll be the hanger point.
All right. Well, Hondo Onaka has passed the test, has made it onto the list at spot number 4. Carl playing the game well here. We are going.
And now Batmouse is going to put some bullshit at 7.
Yeah, I say go right now for this pick.
All right. Batmouse, we are back to you for your pick number 7. You're number 7 on the list.
Number 7 on the list. And because I don't have it higher. Oh man, I'm literally sitting here looking at 4 different characters I would love to have here.
Wonder if they're the same 4 characters as me.
They might be.
Well, I think they're not.
Carl broke the list, but we could have fixed it.
Three of them.
We had the tools and we didn't.
I'm gonna say Watto here. For a lot of the same reasons that like I showed Shizor earlier. Watto fuels literally the Watto objective. He pulls a chance cube. He's a gambler. You know, I like my odds. I like got to give me a chance here. He does mess up the game like a lot, but that's more the site than him. But you know, you get to make the you get to make a voices when you play him, and that works for me.
Kindle, I think this being an audio podcast, everyone was just like robbed of watching just how violently you shook when Watto said right there. Like that was a reaction, and it was a good one.
Visceral.
I can't. I'll do what I can do. Sense.
All right, Watto's getting sensed.
Why are you sensing Watto?
Because he's not one of the four that has to make the list in our 3 spots that are left.
Okay, I completely agree with that.
Watto made my honorable mention. He didn't make my top 8.
There's a lot of honorable mentions though.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna definitely save that one for an honorable mention. My other one. Brengus Glee.
So the sense was successful then.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
On the Watto. Okay. So Batmouse picking again is picking Brengus Glee.
Brengus Glee.
Worse than Watto.
I'm going to sense that one just because I haven't participated yet. And I want to hear that.
Okay, but you can still talk about it. You can still talk about it.
Still talk about it.
That's one of the advantages of the vetoes.
Yeah.
Is that you
I still get to advocate for it. Brengus Glee, being able to exchange docking bays, really fuel Sigfa, really gave Darkseid the Jedi resilience is on the light side.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to bring Brengus Glee your EPPs back, being able to bring Brengus Glee a ship back, is a huge component of I'm a fair play guy, so I want it as fair as I can make it across the board. And giving the dark side the ability to do what light side does with resilience and in grabbing their characters back immediately is a massive thing. Not only that, his ability for, he's just a good card, but he's also a gambler. And if I could find a way to give the Death Star a sabak, that would be another thing that would go in there.
So I want to comment on Brengus Glee. So he's not one of the 4 that has to fit in these 3 spots, but I'm out of senses. So I'm glad that Carl's sensing. But I do want to comment that Brengus Glee is one of Bastian Winkelhaus's favorite cards. And had a very iconic in the Premiere to Death Star 2 era, or that vaguely, Decipher era time frame.
Can I alter my own sense at this point?
No. Please don't, because I hope I'm like, it's important, but it's not. There are characters that need to be here, including one that was sensed earlier, and is going to have to be. And I'm not picking for number 2, so there's characters that need to be on this list. I just want to. I think sometimes we get tunnel vision with modern decks, open format decks, and I think Brengus Glee is more historically important, sort of the way that Lando is. I'm really regretting, is one of the biggest regrets of my life, that I picked Lando for this list and not one of the other things that you guys have picked. So it's all my fault if this list is terrible, or I should have picked one of the other Stone Cold needs to be here's, but yeah. But please don't.
Playing with no pressure.
I mean,
now. Like, it's
you
fun.
can technically you can alter your own sense. Well, is that your first sense, or
that was his first sense?
That was his first sense. He does have one more.
So you get 2 senses. Oh, yeah. But he still has his alter.
Yeah.
So I'll go over that real quick. Batmouse has 1 sense, 1 alter. Kendall, you have 1 alter, and Carl, you have 1 sense, 1 alter after Brangus Glee has been successfully sensed here.
Yep.
I mean, you can alter your own sense. I think that is legal, but don't. Please don't.
No.
Legal,
I'm trying to bait Batmouse here into doing the honorable thing here. The fair play thing on this list.
The fair play thing on this list would be for me to use my alter, but there are other cards. Literally, when I was a huge fan of this topic because there are so many cards that I wanted on this list,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to get Dan and Jericho to stick, and so I'm perfectly fine with losing like a historically great card like Brangus Glee for like. Like I'm gonna let it through. It sends. I'm gonna pick again. I'm gonna pick Mithra Naruto. Tom Hayden B is gonna be my pick. You don't have a whole lot of weapon protection in space in general, but it's not just that. You get a great version of Thrawn. You get to mess with your opponent moving to sites, though. Like, lose a force because you're moving towards me, you're running away from me. Lose a force. But also, you don't shoot me, bro. Like, just don't shoot me, bro, in space. Like him on Duckus and Mist Hunter means that, okay, well, now you're, like we talked about earlier, dedicating extra resources to deal with a situation that you may not even be able to deal with.
I will say that of the bad choices that you've made for this pick, this is the least bad. He was definitely one that I considered for my list.
I can see Kendall's heartbreaking because he's doing the math, and I want it like one character's not making it, and there's gonna be some heat afterwards.
Well, I will say there's gonna be because we've got 3 spots. Or we've got I have already given up on one of my true loves. Left them out in the cold, sent them to the farm upstate. But now there's 3 for 2 spots. Oh man.
And you only got one of those picks.
Yeah, I do only have one of those picks, but the other one's Carl, so I trust Carl. I don't think he's going to pick something bad for number 1. I mean,
Carl's been playing this game excellently. I will say this though, Carl still does have 1 sense.
Yeah,
you could appeal to his better nature.
No,
and here's the thing: I have no more picks after this.
Yeah, I know.
No,
but you also have an alter.
Write up for my number 1, and I have to be able to say it on this podcast, so I'm saving all of my stuff for that.
Okay.
Joking.
All right. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and put Mithra Naruto on this list, even though I can't spell it. I'm just going to stop at Mit.
Yeah, Mit.
Much easier for me to spell. That's going to go in position number 7. And we're going to move on to position number 2, which is Kendall's pick.
Okay. So,
Kendall, I've got a guess for what you're going to pick here. So I'm
do you?
Very curious to see if I'm right.
Okay.
Wait, one point of clarification here. I really wish this would just cover all of the personas. When I sense his Jabba the Hutt, that way he can't just be like, all right, well, different Jabba.
Wait, Batmouse still has a sense? Oh, I guess I have an alter.
Sense, yes.
I have an alter, and Carl also has a sense, so you guys would both have to team up against me. But no, my pick is the one that I think just has to be on the list. I don't know if so I've got there's 4 in these top 2 that I think should be the top 4. And because there's so many of them, I would be happy with any of those 4 being at number 1. And I don't think that Carl is going to do something like put like Tusken Raider at number 1 or anything.
I promise not to put Tusken Raider.
But Tusken Raider with rifle is a different.
It's not but anyway, so look, I vetoed Erica earlier because Erica is my least favorite version of the card. This is a card that I, again, Enhanced Jabba's Palace, that era, is a great time of design. But sometimes you need a little extra help. I love the image on Mara Jade, the Emperor's Hand, but I like the text on Mara Jade with lightsaber a lot better. I just first of all, we didn't talk about with Mithron the Imperial and Alien.
Mhm.
Like I think the dual typing is something that could probably be used actually a little bit more, but it's really cool that it hasn't been overdone, because it also could be very much overdone. And Mara Jade is just such a perfect, like she worked, she's has her associations with the Empire, but then by the time you meet her in the books and stuff, she's independent of that. Sort of like why I thought that Maul should be Sith and Alien, but also like she hangs out in those Alien decks that don't have a ton of options for like stone cold mains. I'm the guy that plays the decks with like 8 different with lightsaber characters, so I just love that. Swinging lightsabers is great. She's a great, and she's a balanced design. She brings like the kind of, she helps bring the persona imbalance between light side and dark up, giving you one more Jedi-ish character to even things out. She's great. Yeah, she's great.
So, because I made my list incorrectly, and I thought, it was going to cover all the personas. That was actually my number 1, and I kind of have some debate on whether or not I think it's the best version of Mara. But
as long as you don't pick Erica, you can. I mean, you can. I won't alter it if you sense it because you think it should be because you think Mara should be number 1.
Yeah, if you're going to pick it at number 1, then that's
no. I've got a doozy at 1. I'm fine.
Uh-oh.
I for my part, I love every version of Arica, of Mara Jade. I literally almost named my second daughter Mara Jade. I've always been a huge fan of that character. I will say this: the Mara Jade with lightsaber that I play physically, I don't have a choice in either the ultra rare foil or sign an autographed copy of the card. So either way, I'm putting a lot of money on the table to be able to play that card, and that's probably why I prefer to use like Arica V or non-V. But I love that card.
It's so funny that you say that.
Character.
It's so funny that you say that. If those were the versions that I owned, I would default to those over the other ones. If I have a cool version of a card, then I'm gonna play it. It's I think Chris Kelly was talking in our team chat about how he plays set 1 Obi-Wan because he has a Japanese version of it.
And when I have like if I'm playing virtual Obi, then obviously I'm gonna put the underlying card as the Japanese version. But like, so the Mara Jade with saber isn't it a full slip? Or it's
a C slip.
I also have a full slip AI image of it though, and I think I like that AI image better.
There's an AI image of her?
Long time ago.
Oh, not official AI.
Not an official one.
Oh, okay.
A Jedi AI.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm good because, like I said, Mara Jade was my number 1 for all the personas. So as long as it's going to stay there, I'm fine.
All right. So Mara Jade with lightsaber going in at spot number 2 on the list. And we're down to our last spot number 1 for our guest.
Batmouse, you still have a sense, right?
Yep.
And an altar.
Cool. And I can sense my own pick, right?
Well,
theoretically, you could.
You can sense your own pick.
I
think
wrote this, and I wrote this specifically for Batmouse, so I want to make sure that I can say it. So my number 1 pick is Chalk. He looks like Kessling's Georgia Bulldogs mascot, so, what's not to love about that stupid dog? He protects against leaders, which I kind of like. So yeah, Chalk, number 1. Love you, Mike.
And I love that you're playing the Batmouse line in this game. I'm gonna go back and reread Shock real quick.
Shock is a
he
guard.
He could have been in the top 8. Like
he gets a bonus with the new guard.
He was actually my number 7, by the way, but I just want. I want that.
He'd be DV5. He'd be DV5 or Power 5, right? Or no, so he could be Power 8 while defending a battle, and then Jabba V could make him Power 16.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a combo right there.
Yeah.
I know that you're pulling for the sense right now, but I kind of could just make this your fault and the Chalk is number 1 on the list.
No, come on, don't do this to me, Batmouse, because Kendall's gonna have a heart attack.
That's kind of the best part. He's over there like, I'm gonna sense it because it doesn't belong there. Yeah. But
no.
Do the job.
So
I should alter Batmouse's sense. No,
you
I'm
should
not gonna do that.
Alter.
Yeah, and then make Carl sense your alter to make sure that my sense goes through.
Yeah.
And then I can alter his sense to make it all everybody else's fault.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. What's your real number 1?
So Jabba, I went back and forth because number 2 on my spot was some version of Jabba, and now I'm on the spot. Is it V or Mighty Jabba? And
it's non-V. Non-V is the correct answer.
I mean, I don't even know what non-V does.
Okay.
So let me read it.
Read it.
So pick.
Read it. No, read it because it's great. Because it
is a great card, but
everything.
It is a great card.
I'm going to pick V because it pulls Scum and Villainy, which is such a thematic card for any type of alien deck. Jabba the Hutt V from Virtual Set 0 is my number 1.
And now you get to make Chalk Power 16. So that's fine.
Yeah,
right.
I know. I mean, I only picked that because it was the closest one that looked like a dog, and I wanted to work in the fact that I lost a bet to Mike Kessling.
I was going to ask if you lost another bet and had to work that in there as part of it.
No. I had to remind him that we had a bet. So at Nationals, look out! I've got to pay that.
Sporting Chalk on your jersey at Nationals.
Yeah, although I'm probably going to get an earful from Mike for making fun of the Georgia Bulldog, but
it's fine. Maybe Kendall will release this the day after Nationals, and it'll be fine.
I mean, what a blowout!
All right, so I've got Jabba the Hutt V at number 1. Batmouse, Kendall, you have thoughts on Jabba the Hutt V?
Jabba the Hutt V is great. I would have been happy with Mighty Jabba as well, or Jabba the Hutt non-V. I think when you're talking about non-bounty hunter aliens, Jabba is the icon. He is we would not have Prince Shizor if we didn't have Jabba. We would not have Lady Proxima. We would not have that one that was in the trivia question. We would not have the other one that does the thing to Han's adding a battle destiny or whatever. Like all the gangsters, everything comes back to Jabba.
The reason that I had Mara number 1 and Jabba 2 was because Jabba has an incredibly stupid persona. The pod racing Jabba is terrible.
Yeah. Agreed. Wholeheartedly.
You're going to make me read them now.
I can't even pronounce his middle name.
Jabba, it's Deciliac, Deciliac Ciaru or something. Yeah, but it's Deciliac.
I mean, it just makes me sound like I'm drunk.
I used to say, because is there a card, or was it just a legacy card that was Deciliac Tattoo?
It's a card.
Okay.
The legacy version of that was way better.
Yeah, it was in the in the 4 effect start or whatever.
So we failed because Dr. E didn't make the list.
Well, yeah, that happens. That's gonna happen.
That will happen.
That's why I put it. That's why I put it as low as I did, because it's, yeah. But I mean, Jabba was my number one, or Jabba the Hutt Virtual was my number one. Mara Jade with lightsaber was my number two. So, and I think Prince Shizor at number 3 is good. The rest of the list is garbage. But well, let's go through the rest of the list, Taco Bill.
What is
I'll
the
give you that
list?
list right now. So at number 8 we have Thok and Thug. At number 7, Mithra Naruto. At number 6, Cloud City, Lando Calrissian, Darkseid, of course. Number 5, Danik Jericho, Non-V. Number 4, Hondo Onaka. Number 3, Prince Shizor. Number 2, Mara Jade with lightsaber. And number 1, Jabba the Hutt V. So let's go around. I'll start with Kendall. Give me an honorable mention, maybe one we haven't talked about yet, or one that you think should have been on that list. And we'll ignore Dr. E because it should have been on the list.
Yeah. Yeah. Dr. E was one. I kept talking about those 4 Stone Cold need to be on the list. Dr. E was one. Dr. E and Ponda B were one of them. The other one that did not make the list was Lady Proxima. I think that her, I mean, she's not great in Solo. She's not great in the sunlight. But that car, I think her on her own when Set 12 came out, to a lesser extent, I think you could still have. Well, I mean, people play Court without playing Twi'lek Advisor Virtual, although I do love Twi'lek Advisor Virtual. But Lady Proxima, I think, single-handedly makes Court playable, and her ability is great, balanced. She adds a battle destiny with other aliens and stuff. Like her, yeah, she's not perfect flavor, but she just feels so. She feels so essential to the deck in a way that, like, kind of like Ahsoka Tano feels essential to mains decks, where it's just like this, like, solidly great card that does everything you want it to do. I really like that card. But and
Batmouse? Oh, sorry.
yeah.
So I have 2 here. Like I almost went and made this a terrible list by putting Rejesk on the list. The ability to steal anything is great. Droids, weapons, let's go. I really did love the virtual version that existed years ago, but he's an honorable mention because he's such a bad card that can be so great against mains. And I'm a huge fan of bad cards, and basically if I can get my opponent to go, what the fuck are you doing? What the F are you doing? Yeah. I want.
This is a family podcast. No profanity.
It's fine. We used our live bomb today.
It's PG-13. I get 1, right?
Yeah.
You already used it.
Okay.
All right. Carl?
Yeah.
I was trying to put, like, intentionally one really bad pick on my list, and I put Alien Mob because I wanted to say I'm greedy and I wanted to have every species, like, represented and talk about my kind of scum. Duro almost made my list, but I put Isa, Trader of the Jawa Canyon, because I thought the title was better. And Bib Fortuna, Heir to the Palace, only made it because I think it has the best underlying card joke there is, with it's Fat Bib, and the underlying card was the big one on Darkseid. So I still like proofing A+ on that one.
A+.
All right, so today's winner, based on trivia and our discussion of the top 8, the winner is our guest, Mr. Carl. You have won. Close match today. Well, won by 1 point.
Haha.
I will
Good job. Good job finishing second, Kendall.
That is true. I will give you quickly my list that I came up with. So my honorable mention was Tech Moore. Destiny 6, obviously very fun to play in a Bring Them Before Me numbers deck that I built when I was 12 years old and thought I figured out the game the first time. Number 8, Gamal Wyronic, who has the best lore of any of these characters. Number 7, Mayo, who, when I thought I figured out the game the second time, Mayo was the greatest rep in My Kind of Scum ever. Number 6, Prince Caesar. Number 5, Mighty Jabba. The two of them make a great beat squad. Number 4, I was actually surprised that nobody brought up at all, and that's Outer Rim Scout, which was just such a huge card for the entirety of Decipher's run.
He was on my 10.
Number 3, I'm also surprised we didn't bring up at all, except for Batmouse's answer, but Woof V. I think that's the card that really makes Scum Space tick. I mean, you can say that Mitt does it, you can say that any of the pilots do it, but I think Woof is a fantastic card. And then my 1 and 2 both got sensed off the list. Number 2, Dr. Evazan and Panababa, and number 1, Brangus Glee, easily my favorite character of all time.
Oh, nice.
Talking about one other thing, I wanted to talk about. Can someone tell me if I'm saying this right? Kit-Kit-Keeb-Kak. Did I say that right?
Kit-Kit-Kak.
Can we talk about how is the greatest lore in the game of having an overprotective mother? And if only we knew someone on design who could make this a counter to thoughts dwell on your mother.
Oh man, that's really good. I'm gonna take credit for that.
I mean, it's been 20 years. She's grown up into an adult now.
Okay, it still has to be power 8 though, because that's 8 battle damage.
Yes,
great.
yeah.
Yes.
That's 8 damage. He doesn't get any. 8's the biggest number.
All right, I will close
No one that eventually becomes a mother can be played here.
All right, I will close again with our accumulated list that we came up with. So 8, Thok and Thug. 7, Mithral Naruto. 6, Cloud City Lando Calrissian. 5, Danik Jericho Nanavi. 4, Hondo Onaka. 3, Prince Caesar. 2, Mara Jade with lightsaber, and number 1, Jabba the Hutt V.
Man, it's always crazy. Like when we're making the lists, I'm like, what are we doing here? But then you actually listen to the finished list and you're like, oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I don't hate that.
We've made worse lists already, so it's fine.
Hey, and you thought this was a dumb topic when I threw it out there. So
Yeah, no, this is a good one. I thought it was. It's not that it was. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was like a little bit too. I thought it would be a little too comprehensive for the third episode. But I guess
Oh, I read the message wrong. You're saying I'm dumb. I got it.
No. I don't think I said that, but it's a private channel. Who knows? No. I thought it was a too good of an idea. I think is maybe it didn't come across that way, but I thought it was too good of an idea. I thought we needed a worse idea, which is why I kept pushing for information brokers. We'll do that in the future. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Obviously, listen to first of all, there's a new Kessling run, so people should listen to that.
Absolutely.
And I always plug everything else when I'm on Holo Theater. So watch Holo Theater on Twitch on Tuesdays if you don't already. It's on the Star Wars CCG. What is it? Twitch.tv/SWCCG.
That's correct.
And then be on the lookout for more content. I still haven't edited the Scott Church interview, so hopefully it'll probably go up before this. And then I've got a couple of other interviews in the works upcoming. Thanks. Do we have a sign off for this show? Or do I just say good luck, have fun, no reverts? Okay, well, until next time, good luck, have fun, no reverts. I feel like I ask if we have a sign off to the show every episode.
That's part of the sign off though.
I guess. Thanks a lot, you guys. This is always a lot of fun. I actually am really, really happy with the list, I think. Because it's got some stuff that you have to have on it, and then it's got a couple of weird ones, but it's not it's not all weird. I actually do like Hondo getting Hondo's an underrated card. If this was a list of underrated cards, Hondo would definitely be on it for me. But also sometimes it's good to have underrated cards on your highly rated list because it offsets the underratedness. Anyway, all right, I'll let you guys go. Thanks again.
All right.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Man, really appreciate it. And
This podcast is a production of the Kendallcast Podcast Network. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Kendallcast
or make a direct donation through the PayPal link at kendallcast.ninja. Thanks for listening.